Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Krashy, and today I wanted to do a video, a discussion, a kind of roundup of all of my thoughts on Trevenant, on the new patch, the changes, the balance, the new this, the new that, the other, and that's what we're going to go ahead and dive into. So thank you so much for being here. I definitely do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, drop a like on the video, drop a comment, and let me know your thoughts as well. And yeah, let's go ahead and dive into it. I appreciate all the support. So, Trevenant is out. It is our newest defender, and this Pokemon is terrible. It is probably the worst Pokemon in the game. Maybe not. I don't know. It's down there. I think that Gengar received some buffs, and that's pretty good, but I don't think it really is going to take any kind of commanding position in the meta or anything like that. And Decidueye also getting some Spirit Shackle changes. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I also don't think it's going to change its position in the meta too much, but I think the Trevenant is pretty way down there with the likes of them to some degree. The character has a ton of recovery. That's the whole gimmick of the character, right? The whole gimmick of the Pokemon. But it just doesn't quite feel tanky enough. It doesn't feel sticky enough. It doesn't feel fluid enough to be able to kind of do tank things, I played a good handful of games last night on stream, and man, it just felt like I would just kind of go in and die, You just kind of go in, start doing things, and yeah, maybe you could get some little moments where things felt right. But overall, the character just feels incredibly underwhelming. I don't think that I could recommend anybody picking it up unless you just want, every character like I do, where you just, grabbing up everything and going from there. But yeah, Trevenant feels incredibly underwhelming, and I definitely think we'll have to get some balance iteration to see Trevenant have a decent position in the meta, or to, see some decent play. That said, there's some big winners of the patch, and I gotta go out and say I'm excited about it because it's two of my favorite characters, the two main characters I played originally with the Japanese beta, which is Charizard and Garchomp. I think that the Charizard changes are incredibly fluid and mobile and clean. He can just really move around the map, and it feels so seamless and do what Charizard already wants to do and was already good at doing, but a little bit better. Do I think it's going to change the meta? No, but I think it makes Charizard feel way better. And Garchomp, I haven't even played the Dragon build yet to test out some of the Dragon changes, but I played the Ground build, and my goodness, the character feels pretty solid, pretty great. I will probably have a gameplay of that up in a little bit because I got a good game last night. Feels really good. I don't know what else to say. I think that Garchomp could be a contender for the potential jungle role, could be a top lane contender. Now I'm talking about competitive meta. That said, any of these characters can be used in ranked, which is another thing we're going to be talking about. They didn't change anything, I don't know, I guess I shouldn't have expected a ton because we are getting close to the end of a season, but no rank changes, unfortunately, don't feel great, and the release of tournament mode is incredibly underwhelming. Probably the thing that I think I'm disappointed most about, but for a specific reason. I want to get my thoughts out on that. So tournament mode, I just felt like it implied a lot more than what it is. And you know what they say, don't make assumptions. And you know what they say about making assumptions. I think that's what happened, right? I made an assumption about tournament mode. I speculated, and I couldn't have guessed further from what we got. So essentially, tournament mode is just a custom match setting where, two teams can go into a lobby, create a tournament mode setting custom, and control the settings. Now, the 4 settings that you can turn on are like all battle items unlocked, all licenses unlocked. I forget what else it is. All items at level 30, and one other setting that I can't remember. And you have the option to enable or disable any of those. I don't really see why you would disable any of those. I've been thinking about it for a little bit. It doesn't really make sense why you would ever disable any of those. But it essentially is literally just a custom game. Now, that is pretty disappointing. That said, I need to explain what tournament mode does right. It has 5 admin slots, which can be acted as spectators. It goes into like this presentation when you're in an admin slot that shows the teams picking their characters, which I think looks really, really cool. It has all their battle items and held items, so you can see a lot. and then it goes straight into spectator mode, where there's been like a slight improvement on the spectator mode where you can use a free cam. So what it does well, it does very, very well, which is being a literal tournament mode, where these tournament organizers can host a tournament, get the teams in this lobby, have a spectator jump in for a potential broadcast, a stream, a tournament stream, and use this tool as an actual resource. Now, we had spectator mode in the game already, but like when I did the Krashy Cup event, I had to have them added as a friend. I had to get them starting the game. I had to wait the 2-minute delay so I could spectate it. It was a pain. So what tournament mode does, it does incredibly well. But what it doesn't do is, I think, why I'm disappointed. And what it doesn't do is it doesn't improve the online experience of ranked for everybody that's not on a 5-stack team. What it doesn't do is, make the leaderboard more grindable. What it doesn't do is basically make the game better almost at all. Which, I feel like I'm trying to be a kind of representative for the common player to a degree. Sorry, I'm still kind of sick. Actually, I'm very sick. I'm trying to be kind of a voice for like the average player to a certain degree. Not even just the average player, but just for the I'm in a team all day long kind of player. Because when we play the game, we haven't really gotten a lot of changes. We don't really get a lot of changes to the way that ranked works. We don't get a lot of changes to matchmaking. We are just kind of stuck with this version of the game that I think a lot of people have been decently outspoken about not really caring for, and those changes don't ever really come. So no matchmaking changes as far as I can tell. Ranked seems to be operating the exact same way, which means that we're still competing against 5-stacks for leaderboard placings. And tournament mode is just customs. Maybe this, I don't know, this sounds silly, but maybe this will incentivize teams to play scrims more, and then we will have maybe a little bit more room on the leaderboard because they're playing scrims more, but I don't really see that being the case. And I'm just a little disappointed with tournament mode, because I really was hoping that it would be something for people to play for, and it's really just customs for tournaments, which I really think that they could have worded it differently. Like, they could have said like, oh, we're adding a setting to customs called tournament mode. That would have been better than saying they were releasing a new game mode called tournament mode. But that's just me. But the patch is out. There's a lot of new content. There's tons of skins that we've seen data mined. Obviously, we know that Aegislash has been leaked, and the ball is still moving in the same direction. We are about like 13 days away, I think, from a new rank season, and we'll be getting our new battle pass soon. That's been leaked in the game files. So, I kind of want to just wait and see what happens. For me personally, I think that it's going to be really, really important to see this rank season roll over. I think that we need to see some kind of action from them in order to have some kind of confidence in their ability to make decisions and their potential to change things. But with such a big patch coming out now, I don't really know that I have a lot of confidence to see anything major happen. I'm really, really afraid that we're gonna get season 3. It's gonna roll us over. It's gonna kick us back down to veteran for us in Masters, and we're gonna do the same song and dance again. But that's just kind of where I'm at. So Trevenant doesn't feel great. I definitely don't really recommend picking the character up unless you just want to. But big patch winners, like I said, probably Machamp. Machamp actually is pretty good feeling. I don't think the meta changes almost at all. I think Dragonite is going to stay at the top of the meta. I think Serena feels amazing still. Lucario didn't feel any kind of terrible to me. And Garchomp, Charizard, big winners. Will they shake up the meta? Maybe Garchomp will. I don't think Charizard's going to shake up the meta too much unless we have like more band tournaments and things like that, which could happen. That definitely could happen. Which reminds me, tournament mode doesn't have a pick ban phase on it either, which would have been really cool. That would have been a nice addition to just slide in there without saying anything about it, but it doesn't. But regardless, I don't think that we'll have too much meta shifts. I think that the meta is mostly going to stay the same. Decidueye feels much better with multiple charges of Spirit Shackle, but I don't think that's going to change its position in the meta. And essentially any of the balance changes, some good, I don't think that they're actually going to change the meta too much. Hyper Beam Secure is still really, really high. Serena still feels really, really good. Lucario feels pretty good. And Garchomp and Charizard are much more improved. So I think that's about it, friends. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you're thinking. You know, like I said, just a little disappointed. It feels like we're not really making the big changes that we need to make with this game, and I'll just keep advocating for some of those changes, and hopefully that, you know, some people out there agree with me. But as always, friends, be sure to be kind to one another, tell someone that you love them, and I'll see you on the next video.